Hi, I'm CJ Altenberg with Transwest Truck Trailer RV in Frederick, Colorado. We appreciate you tuning in. So today we got kind of a cool trailer we're going to show you. This is a Cimarron 3-horse, but this thing has a lot of extras on it. Big, massive tack room, air ride suspension. We'll dive into all of that here in a minute. Let's take a look at the drawing of this trailer so you can kind of see how it lays out itself. We're talking 21 foot, 3 inches on the floor. This trailer is 7'1" tall. That's Cimarron standard. And then it's 6'10" wide, which is standard. Now I'll kind of show you back in the stall area. Some manufacturers will call their standard width 7 foot. You know, Cimarron actually calls it a 6'10". If there's no wheel well in the inside, which I'll show you here in a few minutes when we get to the stall area, what we're kind of talking about there. But again, this is a really cool little trailer from the standpoint of you can obviously pull this with a 3/4 ton, 1 ton very easily. But you know, we're starting to see these half-ton pickups or these, you know, kind of a eco-diesel type setups, you know, get rated up into that 10, 11, 12,000 pound towing capacity. So where this trailer here sits 4,770 is the official empty weight on that. So 4,770 pounds. So you throw 3 head and tack on here, and as you can see, as long as you've got an integrated brake controller or an aftermarket brake controller, you know, it's going to be rated, you know, capable for a lot of these newer half tons to pull this setup. And the other thing is it'll pull extremely well, and there's a couple reasons why that is. I briefly touched on it with air ride suspension, which we're going to get more into here in a minute. But one of the very first things as to why this trailer is going to pull so good is this V-nose. So we opted for the V-nose rather than the standard nose. Which, you know, these Cimarrons pull extremely well as it is, but when you put a V-nose on them, I mean, these guys cut through the wind. You know, time and time again, I've heard about this setup right here. I don't know what's back there. I ran into a gentleman at the acid wash the other day that was pulling a 30-foot air ride cattle trailer, and he even told me, he goes, good and bad. Good is this thing pulls phenomenally well. Bad is, I forget it's back there, it pulls so well, and he dinged kind of a fender on it pulling into a driveway because he forgot it was back there, and we're talking 30 foot on the floor. But these V-nose trailers, we want to do some testing when we have like trailers sitting here side by side, which right now, you know, it's hard to get us the inventory from the standpoint of everything is on that we have on order is basically sold over the next few months. So we're trying to get the same trailer side by side and same model, same layout, everything, one with a V-nose, one with a standard nose, to do some testing on miles per gallon. Because some of the estimated rough testing we've done is about 2.5, maybe 3 gallons better when you're pulling a V-nose compared to a standard nose, because it's just catching the wind where this is cutting through. So this is a cool feature. A lot of manufacturers will actually come to a really sharp point, which I'll show you when we get into the inside. The depth of the nose itself, and then this little bit wider radius really opens it up. I mean, you can there's still a lot of room in this neck compared to the standards or other manufacturers' V-nose setups. We put a single leg hydraulic jack. Again, it's not a big trailer, but again, it's got a lot of cool stuff, so why not put that on there? It's really nice, it's really responsive. You know, it's pushing a button up and down. So really easy to hook and unhook. If you have somebody helping you, you know, as you're backing up to the trailer itself and you get right above the gooseneck hitch itself, you know, when you put it in park, it can rock one way or the other. It's really easy to just keep your foot on the brake and have somebody just sit there and hit that button and drop it on there. So it's really responsive. There is a manual override on these, so in emergency situations, if you have to hand pump this on or off the truck, you can do that. Other systems you can't. So you got to have power to them. This, we can actually override itself. So there's 2 battery boxes on this trailer. We did dual batteries on this. Since it is a 22 model, it does now come standard with the battery disconnect, where in the past we were adding these to it. So I can actually turn that off and kill all power to this trailer if I want to, which is really nice from the standpoint of if I accidentally bumped a light or left a light on, it's not draining these batteries when I come to hook up with this hydraulic jack. Then there's a box over here to the left as well, and that's actually where our self-contained compressor is located. Now, we are actually, Transwest is, we're actually trying to transition to putting this compressor in one of these aluminum battery boxes, just for a little bit more protection. We've got plenty of trailers that are running out there that don't have this, and it's actually located on the side, and it works extremely well. But you know, this, when we do that, it's always over here on the sidewall where it's a little bit harder to see and to operate the actual controls. To where now, if we have it in one of these boxes, you can see everything right here. We can see our gauge, we can raise, lower, we can turn it on or off. So it's a really easy system to use. You basically turn it on, load your horses, roll it to the raised position, and then the compressor will kick back on, and then it stops at about 140 to 145 psi. That's it. You drive down the road. If you stop for lunch, don't worry about it. Just leave it on a couple hours. Don't worry about it. Now, if you're parking overnight, you get home to park this for a while, we actually want to shut the system off, roll it to the lower position, and then we want to clear the line, which is this cable hanging down here. And what that does is it'll get rid of any condensation that we've built up, because air in these compressors can do that. And right now in the summer months, it's not as big of a deal to worry about. But I want you to get in the habit of operating it the correct way every time. Because now in the winter months, if we've got that liquid in there, that condensation that builds up, that moisture, it can freeze a line and possibly crack and do damage. So then we're having an air leak, and then we're having to deal with issues like that. I'll talk a little bit more about air ride when we get back to the axles, but let's take a look at this, because this is a massive and such a cool tack setup itself. So as you can see, the dual doors. Our left-hand door has got a 4-tier post, or a 4-tier saddle rack right there with the recessed post on the door itself. And I want you to notice that tray on the bottom. Obviously that lower saddle, when it's hanging on there and we go to swing this in or out, you know, our stirrups are going to drag over to this door frame here. To where now we can actually tuck them up underneath here and set them on there. So now opening and closing that door is going to be a lot easier, a lot simpler. But look at that opening right there. I mean, you want to talk about being able to get in and access everything. Maybe you're hauling some more totes, maybe you're hauling more tack, anything like that. It's just real easy to open this completely up and be able to access everything in this trailer. Your door to the right, 4-tier blanket pole rack, brush tray on the door. This blanket pole rack right here, 4-tier, and it's on a gas shock too, so it swings in and out. So it's really easy to use and easy to put things on and off of it. And then as you get in, we put dual steps. So it's really easy getting into this trailer itself. Now, the other cool thing is when these doors are shut, or you can shut your saddle rack door, you know, you've got a nice big bench on the side of this trailer. If you want to sit there and have lunch, have a drink, visit with somebody, you know, you have that as well. But again, talk about just a massive, massive opening here. 18-inch boot box. So it works as a great step. Also easy to get up into the nose. That smaller miscellaneous items tucked in there. You'll notice the tray to the right, and what that is actually for our plexiglass. Now, we don't have the plexiglass in these openings that I'll show you here in a little bit, but the plexiglass is stored in there, which is cool because then it's out of the way. You know, it protects it. It's not bouncing around on the actual deck itself. You know, that could potentially break it, so it's a good storage spot. But on the depth of this, most manufacturers are either a 7.6 or 7.8 deep nose, to where Cimarron standard is 8.2. Now we can go to 9 foot with an enclosed front end, and they'll do a 9.6 as well. But by this being 8.2, it lengthens this out compared to a lot of the other manufacturers. So as you can see, on this setup, it'd be really easy for 1 or 2 people to actually still sleep up in this nose. Now you're gonna be cozy up there towards the front, but it can be done. A standard nose Cimarron on this width of a trailer, square footage is 54 square feet of coverage. This is 39, so we're not losing that much really if you think about it in the grand scheme of things. And it's because they put a little bit bigger radius. So we have the benefit of the V-nose for miles per gallon and the way it pulls, but the depth helps us as well. So let's take a look at this nice big massive shelf here with a clothes rod. This has a lip to it so we can put items up there. They're not going to roll off. but you can carry a lot of clothes here on this trailer. It's got a camper style, just crank up vent here. Now this is the same footprint as an AC unit, so this is already pre-framed for an AC unit. If you wanted to add that after the fact, it can be done. Now you'll notice that the spare tire is located in the tack room. Most Cimarrons, we have them up underneath the gooseneck, but there's a reason why. It's because this is, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about more about it here when we get back to the axles. This is a 19.5 wheel and tire, so it's a lot bigger than compared to a 16 inch, which you normally see on this type of a setup, or potentially a 17.5. Well, when we're dealing with a hydraulic jack and this wide of a trailer, we can't get that underneath there. It's just too tight. We want you to be able to easily access it. We could do it, but we'd have to move it way up, which then you're wrestling a tire a little bit higher. So this one's located here in the tack room itself. Carpeted wall, or partition wall here, and we also have a pass-through door that goes into the stall area, so you can transition between the tack and the stall area itself. Hooks, and then you have a water tank behind it. That's a 25 gallons, just a gravity feed, but it's nice to be able to take water with you. Whether you have a finicky horse that only likes water from home, maybe you're going trail riding, maybe you get somewhere where you're parked clear out, not close to a hydrant, it's nice to be able to have that water on hand and available right here at the trailer. The short wall on this front tack is 6 foot. You have a 4 foot offset. So 6 foot short wall, 10 foot long wall here. Here's these stock sides I was telling you about. Plexiglass will insert into these. So again, that's stored up front there. You've got an LED awning light above there. And then while we're looking at that, I want you to notice those button lights. So those button marker lights are now standard on 22 models. It's not the larger rectangular marker lights that you've seen in the past. These put out a lot of light. They're really sharp. I think it's a cleaner look to the trailer myself. This one here, we actually went in and added a few more button lights to it. So this trailer looks really cool at nighttime with having those extra marker lights on it. And now let's talk about this. So 2 7,000-pound axles. Again, 19.5 wheels with heavy duty. These are 14-ply tires. I mean, this trailer has some massive running gear underneath it for the size of the trailer itself. Those 19.5s, I mean, think about the rotations. We're definitely going a lot faster in these trucks nowadays, pulling these trailers. So having 7Ks underneath it, having these 19.5s, a heavier duty tire. So majority of the time on this type of a trailer, standard, you would have 16-inch wheels with 10-ply tires. We're dealing with a whole different setup here. Then let's talk about that air ride a little bit more. So we have rubber torsion axles with a shock kit, and then we have the air ride system itself. So if something happens to our air ride system, it sets down on rubber torsion axles and you can go to where you need to. Old air ride systems, you couldn't go anywhere, you were stuck. With this, you can get to where you need to, get the issue addressed, and then you're ready to roll. Whenever you're pulling these trailers and they have air ride on. Again, I want you to get in a consistent and operating the actual compressor itself every time the exact same way, and same with having it aired up and driving down the road. I mean, it's benefit. It's better on the equipment, it's better on the truck, it's better on the horses when you are loaded, so it does make a difference. So go ahead and run it that way. But you want to talk about what it does for the horses. I mean, this ride is completely different. There's tons of stories we can tell you. There's a lot of customers we can get you in touch with that will tell you what they think of air ride. The most common thing we hear is they'll never own another trailer without air ride. I mean, they're done, they're sold, they love it. It makes a massive difference. We pay a lot of money for these horses. There's a lot of expense that goes into them. Vet bills, training, actually going to events. We want them to step off these trailers as fresh as we can, giving them every opportunity to compete at the highest level. but just in general, just have a better ride for them themselves. So air ride makes a massive difference. Again, once you pull one, I'm confident you will never go back. So this one here, this is a Winstar model. So you have the stock sides, like I showed you on passenger side. We've got dual 50/50 rear gates with the plexiglass in those as well. But as you can see, kick mats on both doors. We've got two 8-inch awning lights, so load lights here at the back. And then I want you to notice that wing at the back. So we always joke that these are the fastest trailers on the market, but there is some serious benefit to this wing. And you're gonna see this wing incorporated a little bit more on some of our inventory trailers, because again, what we're dealing with here is we're dealing with two stock, rear gates on this trailer. So we have some openings if we don't have the plexiglass in. But what happens is if you live down a dirt road, or if you've driven down a dirt road, you know that it creates a lot of dust at the back of the truck. So it does the same thing at the back of a trailer. And what will happen is, if you get out and look at the back of your truck after driving down, you'll notice a lot of dust is accumulated at the back. The bumper, the tailgate itself. Well, it's doing the same thing on a trailer. And what it's doing is it's actually circulating, and it's trying to suck that dust into the trailer itself. Well, we don't want our animals breathing dust. So what this wing does is it actually grabs the air and forces it down. So instead of that dust and that wind circulating back here, it's actually forcing it away from the trailer. So again, it's getting everything away. So that is a really cool benefit and cool feature and an option that we're going to incorporate a little bit more in some inventory trailers. And that one nice thing too is we can add it to anything after the fact too. So it's not like it's part of the actual structure itself. It just attaches to the back. So if you drive a lot of dirt roads and that's something you think that, hey, that'd be kind of cool to add, that can be done after the fact. Speaking of after the fact, maybe you want a rear ramp. That can be done. We just remove the rubber bumper, it welds to the bottom and folds up over our rear gates here. So then as we get into this stall area here, since it's a 3-horse, we've got 2 dividers. They're solid dividers. Everything's got a radius, so it's nice and smooth. Nothing protruding out, no sharp edges. Horse safety is number 1, and also human safety. So these slam latches are really beneficial and really easy to use, because again, we're not having to hold a divider in place, hold a horse in place as we're getting it actually locked up. This just releases really, really easy here. So really simple to use. This is a heavy UHMW paddle latch, so we're not having metal to metal contact. Again, really simple to use. And then they've got these big springs on the bottom of each divider. So as you can see, these, I'm not holding these actually sucked towards the driver's side of this trailer, and we're actually tipped towards passenger side. So again, loading and unloading, these are out of the way. Kick mats all the way around, even on the partition wall. Again, a pass-through door, they even did it there. 3 LED lights, since this is a 3-horse, you get 3 on this one. And then an insulated roof that's standard on every single Cimarron. It makes a massive difference in temperature and just overall comfort for your horses. You're talking a 1/2-inch thick honeycomb design, R3 thermal value. It will keep this stall area about 20% cooler compared to an aluminum sheeted roof. Come in here in the summertime and I'll bounce you between trailers with aluminum roofs and insulated roofs, and you'll be able to tell a massive difference in temperature just because of that roof. And again, it's standard on every single Cimarron. Industry's best floor, 12-inch deck, extruded piece that locks in high and low, tongue and groove, 4-inch centers. So imagine hoof size of your horse. They're standing on a support beam wherever they're at on this trailer itself. Now I showed you on passenger side the stock sides, to where over here on driver side you've got 3 drop windows. Come with jail bars as well that will fold down. But these are big, heavy duty windows. These are not prefab, these are massive. That's all structure, all framework that you see from the edge here to the window. So you want to talk about big and stout, easy to shut, a nice solid shut to them. These are keyed like as well, keyed like our tack room, so we can go ahead and lock everything up. But I'll give you a little background on this trailer. This was actually our owner's demo trailer. So as you can see, he hardly used this trailer at all. I think a handful of times they actually put horses on this trailer itself. So we've already kind of discounted the trailer for that, with it being a demo. Again, it's a cool, clean trailer. You get full warranty on it, which is 8-year structure, 3-year hardware right off the bat. So you don't have to worry about anything there. I'm going to give you the stock number on it. Again, this is a 2022 Cimarron Winstar 3-horse gooseneck. Stock number is 5N201545. So if you have any questions on this trailer here, maybe you want it in a 4-horse, maybe you want to see what else we have other trailers on order, give us a call. We can build you whatever you want. We can get you into this trailer right here. Anybody on the sales team can help you out. That number is 303-684-3400. Thanks for tuning in. Have a good day.